Morning, everyone. Today we're going to have a look at Mark's Gospel, chapter 9, and it's rather a disturbing topic. It is the situation where Jesus goes off, and when he comes back, there's a bit of a quarrel going on, between the disciples. And so they say, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, we've been trying to drive out the evil spirit out of this person, but none of us can do it." And they were a bit concerned about that. Needless to say, Jesus then goes ahead and does that. But I think the thing to remember here is that when it comes to evil spirits, they are a reality. They still existed in Jesus' day, and they still exist these days. But just to appreciate that evil is not the opposite of good. It's the absence of good. Not the opposite of good. It's the absence of good. So in terms of making choices, that doesn't mean to say I'm actually deciding to be evil. You might actually be a good person, but there might be something about you or about another person where good is not necessarily present, and that is where evil can creep in. You see, the thing is that evil can sometimes be quite subtle. It doesn't necessarily have to involve satanic worship and all of these kinds of things. As I've sometimes shared with you before, we just need to be aware that Satan doesn't need to convert us to his following. All he has to do is get us to turn away from God. And I think quite a lot of people, unfortunately, fall into that trap where we are very easily distracted by things around us. One of the parables that Jesus, or one of the situations Jesus is involved in, which I think is really meaningful, was the temptations of Jesus, where Jesus is taken up to a very high place, and the devil says to him, "Bow down and serve me, and I will give you all of these things. Bow down and serve me, I will give you all these things." Satan claims ownership of some of the things of this world, claims ownership of the physical above the spiritual. Because if he can get people to buy into the physical, into the material things, then they'll forget about the spiritual. And if we reflect on that, sadly, I think a lot of people have been drawn into that. And we need to make sure that we change. The question is, how do we make a change? And Jesus gives us the exact answer. He says, only prayer can drive out evil. So let's be prayerful about that. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.